My name is Khalid Latif. I work as a university chaplain at New York University, as well as executive director of its Islamic Center, and I'm also a chaplain for the New York City Police Department. I think multi-faith, interfaith work is a very key component to our center, as well as just kind of my personal objective. The need for an interfaith agenda is one that's very crucial in that, because just as religion can be very empowering, so too it can be very divisive, and it can be a means by which a calculated misinterpretation can just wreak havoc on any community, and can really segment people in ways that are not beneficial at all. And so the kind of interfaith and multi-faith work that I personally enjoy the most, and really look forward to being a part of, you know, deals more so with bringing people together on what kind of values we share in common. Let's go out and do community service work together. Let's go out and take on homelessness or domestic violence or social injustices that any organized religion or any spiritual person or even a non-spiritual person would say, most definitely these are calamities that are afflicting us as a society, and we can collectively begin to take them on. The groups that I'm working with right now more directly in multi-faith work, I think primarily through our Islamic Center, we try to do a lot with local Jewish, Christian communities, as well as a variety of other faith-based communities. And outside of my role at the center and with the NYPD, I do a lot of work with a variety of multi-faith organizations to the best of my ability. In specific, I'm working right now, or I'm sitting on the board of directors for a group called World Faith that is a very young multi-faith initiative, but it has the potential of really impacting a lot of people on a global scale. So what started out as a student-run organization at New York University, ironically enough, has now burgeoned into a organization that deeply impacts people in a variety of countries, India, Lebanon, amongst others, and they're just growing and moving forward. And I think what's really key about them that I find to be very attractive in the multi-faith arena is that they're not swayed kind of by PR opportunities or photo ops, but they're trying to do very real, meaningful work and are bringing hearts together of people. And I think that kind of gets lost a lot, the overall objective that you're trying to gain through this multi-faith work is not to just paint a picture that's very rosy that at the end of the day really dissolves after a few days of a panel discussion or a dialogue, but you cement a relationship between individuals that say our commonality and our humanness is going to transcend any socially constructed difference that might be fighting to keep us away from each other. And via that bond, I'm going to understand that it won't be sensible for me to say that because you're a Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, or whatever, you must be like this. I'm going to learn your name and qualify you based off of who you are, not what my preconceived ideas and notions have perceived for you to be. Interestingly enough, these days the Islamic Center at NYU, one could argue, has an international recognition. We get awards and accolades from a lot of organizations, nonprofit, for-profit, governmental. Our social media tools are tracked throughout the world. For example, we have a podcast of our Friday sermons that right now officially tracks about 30,000 listeners a month in 120 different countries. And I think those things in and of themselves definitely are helping to raise awareness and recognition of our center. But I think at the base of it is a very unique community that focuses on the idea of really bringing people in and letting them feel as if they could be a part of what we have going on. Beyond any kind of media work, beyond any kind of programming or activities that take place on kind of a broader scale, I think people on a very individualized level just feel very comfortable coming into our center, and that idea, for whatever reason, isn't necessarily very prevalent in a lot of Muslim communities. I think it's really hard to fit into religious communities in general because people are very easily archetyped based off of external measures as to what their level of goodness or badness is via the predominating group in the institution, right? So you dress a certain way, you must be like this. Your skin color is this, then you must be like this. You've studied this professionally, then you must be like this. And more often than not, we find a negative sense of judgmentalism as opposed to something that's positively reinforced. And what our center seeks to do is empower individuals who come into it via their inherent strengths and just their good qualities, and using that as an entry point for people from a variety of backgrounds to find some kind of solace in being part of our community. And I think once they find that entry point into the community, we seek to empower them and give them a sense of urgency in their own self-development, right? So even if your baseline is that you're good and you don't have to qualify yourself as being somebody who's bad, a good person can still always be better. And I think that sense of motivation, driven by series of very tangible successes, yields a sense of self-worth and confidence that just trickles into other communities that want to then kind of replicate that same idea. And the problem is it's not a very tangible thing, right? It's more so like an atmosphere that has to be created with a very patient sense of understanding, right?